What TV series everyone loves but you think it sucks? The Bachelor/Bachelorette is horrifying and creepy. I forget whose quote this was. The Bachelor is a show where 20 women compete for Instagram followers and the loser has to get engaged. Those who love it know it sucks. 13 Reasons Why. Something about that show always seemed sick to me. Agreed, it was odd how the main character would randomly speak to people like he was their best friend. Like all the CW superhero shows, Arrow Season 1 and 2 were good, but I don't get it with the rest. I remember the glorious few weeks when Arrow got so bad that r/Arrow became a Daredevil subreddit. If I remember reading correctly, the writers from Season 1 and 2 of Arrow went to write Season 1 of Flash, which is why I like those 3 seasons the best. Like Deathstroke, Shadow, The Count were so greatly written. Even the first few episodes with Oliver's inner dialogue was great. But after the Damien Dark and the League being weak AF, people dying and coming back to life, show needed to end it after 3, 4 or 5. I will say this. Season 5 was good. Like a breath of fresh air. Amel really the weight of the show on himself. Riverdale. That show is one of the worst, and yet one of most popular shows streaming on Netflix. I am probably not the only one who thought about that show. I've managed to convince myself that it is deliberately written and acted to be insane. I don't know if I'm right, but looking at it as a deconstruction various genres makes it far more entertaining than it would ever be if you view as a series that is intended to be a serious attempt at being good TV. I love it, but I love it because it's terrible and bonkers. Death cults, multiple vigilante gangs, teenage mafioso, fight clubs, jingle jangle, Dungeons and Dragons. This show is nuts and I am here for it. The Bachelor. Or pretty much any romantic reality show, Love Island, Married at First Sight, all Bachelor spin-offs. I feel like I lose brain cells watching even a minute of it. All my friends and co-workers are into it, and I just can't. I fully acknowledge that Love Island is trashy TV and yet I love it. Maybe I watch it because it makes me feel better about myself in some weird way. Seeing stupid, good-looking people do stupid things on a stupid show is perfect mindless TV for me. Lamar, my professor last semester, told us it's fine if we didn't get into a health professions/grad school on the first try, just don't go on The Bachelor/Bachelorette. Riverdale. Everyone says to just get past X season/S. I'm not gonna watch a shitty show if it's shitty. Don't tell me to just get through however many seasons. It's not good. The show is batshit insane with terrible writing. Even the actors hate it. But, that's why people like it. It's just too batshit insane. Everyone says to just get past X season/S. Seriously? The first season was great in my opinion. It got terrible after that and I quit watching. Anything related to reality TV about a famous family. 2 Broke Girls. Yes. This is literally the example of bad writing, directing and acting. Broad City is essentially the same concept, which is kind of insulting to put it in the same league as 2 Broke Girls, but just perfected. It's a female-driven, written and directed loser comedy and it is sensational. The characters are self-sabotaging and so real. The actors do their own hair and makeup and the wardrobe designer specifically shops at places like Forever 21, H&M, Zara and Urban Outfitters and even repeats their outfits to make it more realistic. The View. I randomly tried to watch it the other day. What a stink bomb. Someone put this out of its misery. It has a 2.6 on IMDb. Their audience is hospital waiting rooms. I see The View and raise you its god-awful British counterpart, Loose Women. A bunch of well-off mostly menopausal women banging on about sex, bemoaning all of life's little inconveniences that can be solved with money they have and trying to stay relevant. I can't stand it but get subjected to it in work and at home. Angry face. Any reality TV show edit, what have I done? Same, but I ended up reluctantly watching a few 90 Day Fiancé episodes with my wife. There was one Russian girl who kept treating her fiancé like garbage. I had to stop watching because every time she came on screen I wanted to throw my TV out the window. I will defend Survivor to the death. Actually, I'm too busy to put in the effort to defend it, but morally, I feel strongly that it deserves a defense to the death. Grey's Anatomy. All my friends love that show. I think it's so bad and I love medical dramas. ER and House are two of my favorite TV series, but Grey's? Nah. I loved Grey's Anatomy up until like season 11 or 12. The last several years have been garbage. I still rewatch old episodes on Netflix. After the last finale, I stopped watching new episodes entirely. They are the world's worst surgeons. If anyone in real life had that many complications, the hospital would have revoked their privileges and they would have been sued into oblivion. Also, the melodrama is dumb. Walking Dead. People making really poor decisions with some zombies in the background. Sunk cost fallacy. The TV show. 2.5 Men. Painfully obvious jokes, excessive laugh track. Like what the actual fuck do people like about that show? It was cute in the beginning when the kid was a kid and not an idiot teenager. Probably around season 3/4 is when they leaned heavily into the Jake is a dumbass bit and the jokes just became super repetitive and boring. I think before it got super played out, it was alright. Nothing crazy or hilarious but watchable. Somewhere in the later seasons of Sheen and pretty much all the Kutcher stuff is when the show was dead. Pretty much anything that the CW puts out, like The Flash, Supergirl, Riverdale, etc. Some of their shows are decent for the first season or so, but then the shitty writing catches up and it just becomes hard to watch. The 100 might be the exception to the rule. Exceptions: Veronica Mars, Buffy, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Jane the Virgin. All former CW and or WB shows and all great. The Handmaid's Tale. I feel I should like it. Dystopian, creepy and initially very interesting. Just can't seem to get into it. Not to mention the uncomfortable rape scenes. I haven't seen the show, but the novel isn't so much post-apocalyptic as it is dystopian like 1984 and Brave New World, which lends itself more to allegory than sci-fi. The first season was excellent. By the third season, June's plot armor had gotten so thick it was ridiculous. I'm not sure I'll be watching next season. The Walking Dead. There's no endgame, so what's the point? I've seen the first 3 seasons and I just never got really into it. Well, the comic series has ended. That being said, though, the show split off the comics a long time ago and I'm not sure how they'll adapt it. Since a crapload of people the show killed off are actually alive in the comics at the end, you might be right, and at this point it's just meandering semi-pointlessly like a walker. It's the modern day soap opera. Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like, why would you diminish your brain cells like that? The only saving grace to that show is Scott Disick. He's fucking hilarious with his commentary. But it's better to watch YouTube clips of him than whole episodes of a trash show. The worst. American Horror Story. It just seems like its only mechanism for keeping people interested is being as fucked up as possible instead of telling an interesting story with good writing. I always say that AHS typically has a great premise and a sloppy execution. Great cast, normally an exceptional first episode, and then it goes tits up from there. I missed the first 3 seasons. I loved AHS as a teen/young adult when it first started. Now that I'm in my mid-20s, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Every season has a decent setup and then the story just jumps off a cliff until it's nothing about the concept they presented. By the end of every season, you're just so exhausted with the constant dumb twists. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.